Good morning, this is Rich Nelson with Allendale. Special update for you guys. Today's date is March 8th of 2019. Now today we had the monthly supply demand report from USDA. This one was not expected to have many fireworks, but USDA did give us a couple things to talk about here. Primary issue as far as the surprises was on corn. USDA raised corn ending stocks from 1.735 billion bushels to now 1.835 billion bushels. So an increase of 100. That's a bit higher than the average trade guess, which was only expecting maybe about a 20 to 30 million bushel increase. As far as the categories USDA cut, they cut 25 million bushels out of their corn for ethanol guess, and about 75 million out of the export numbers. Certainly on both sides, Allendale did expect lower demand. On this one, though, maybe not as much as what USDA gave us here today. On the positive end, the current price reaction not doing too bad overall for corn as far as today's trade after this report. As far as world numbers, no big surprises or really no big changes across the board on the numbers for corn. USDA did lower the numbers as far as ending stocks from 309.8 million tons to now 308.5 million tons. Not really a market-moving issue as far as the world numbers there. Over on the domestic soybean side, USDA lowered stocks from 910 million bushels to now 900, and this came from a 10 million bushel increase for domestic crush. For this report, USDA chose to leave their export numbers unchanged. That's relatively reasonable concerning a lot of the uncertainty regarding the trade issues. Also keep in mind, USDA likely did not have access to the overnight sales report number from this morning at 8 o'clock, suggesting that they actually would be suggesting that Chinese purchase overnight here. So we'll see if that may change things here next month on a positive basis or not. As far as world numbers on the soybean side, USDA made no changes to Argentina's soybean production numbers. They did lower Brazil from 117 to now 116.5 million tons. Not a major change. Most of the trade probably feels there's maybe another 500,000, if not 1 million ton left to drop on this one. As far as Chinese numbers, USDA did lower the Chinese domestic crush estimate from 89 million tons to now 88. So lowered that by 1. Bottom line for us on the ending stock numbers for beans, world stocks going from 106.7 to now 107.2. Relatively minor change. As far as numbers on wheat, USDA they were relatively active on this one. They did raise stocks, and they increased from 1.010 billion bushels to now 1.055 billion bushels. We can't say this higher stock estimate is too much of a surprise for us, especially as we have a little time left to fix our export deficit before the marketing year ends at the end of May. For this report, USDA chose to drop food use, wheat for food use, by 5 million bushels, and they dropped the export number by about 35 million bushels. Reasonable. There's probably actually a bit more of that coming in these next few weeks. On the world side for wheat, USDA chose to increase the ending stock number, going from 267.5 to now 270.5, so an increase of 3 million tons. We did note that part of this came from changes on the U.S. balance sheet here. Other areas we can point out, they did raise a little bit for the Argentine crop estimate, lowered the Middle East production estimates a little bit here, and they also were active in lowering the former Soviet Union countries and Kazakhstan as well by about 1 million ton there. So bottom line issue for us on this report, USDA's moves here today would be seen as a little negative, especially on the corn end of things here. Bottom line for us, though, is let's watch the price reaction. We likely have bigger issues as far as price drivers than this report, so we'll see if this does change anything here in these next few days. Any questions about marketing crops in this environment, trading in this environment, give Allendale a call, 1-800-262-7538.